Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to give an update on my recent purchase on the Canon A6600 APS-C camera. So I used to use the Canon T6i, which I still own. It's a 1080p camera that goes up to roughly 30 frames per second is the max recording capabilities on that camera. I have several lenses for that camera, and you know, overall, I've been happy with it. It's a DSLR camera. However, as technology has been evolving, people are using 4K. And 4K gives you the unique ability to be able to zoom into your footage without having a second camera angle, which is super helpful and useful. So I decided to look into getting a 4K camera, and I did my comparisons between Canon, which I was already invested in, and then also the Sony. I decided to go with the Sony for one particular reason, and that is the unlimited recording time. My Canon on many occasions was shut off after 30 minutes. It was extremely annoying because I was missing a lot of footage, and I didn't even know I was missing it until it was too late. I also would use a lot of GoPros in my recording, and I find that GoPros are extremely robust for activity and active things. They're awesome cameras, and I use them all the time. But when I was recording in the shop, I would have the issue of they would always, when they would, you know, run out of battery life, they would do that little beep in the middle of the video. And then also, I just found the turnaround with the GoPro, you know, because I used the media base, was just a little bit much, because you have to take it off the tripod, you know, unscrew it, take it off the tripod, or take it off of whatever mount you have, take out the screw. You have to take out the battery and switch out the battery, do all these different things. And you know, if you don't have a large enough card, you got to take out the card, move the data over. And I just find that the GoPro is extremely robust, and it's an awesome tool for active things. But what I wanted to do in the shop was kind of set a camera angle up or two and just kind of forget it, just kind of get lost in my work and focus on what I'm doing instead of worrying about what's going on with the camera, because I'm actually doing my own work and I'm also filming myself and then going back and trying to learn how to edit these things. So all of that to be said, I invested in this A6600. I'm happy with the camera. However, I must admit, if you look up here in front of me, I had no clue that switching camera platforms was going to cost me like $3,000 or more. So let's go back. I bought the camera, I bought the Sony A6600. You see I got the kit that came with the 18 to 135 millimeter, 3.5 to 5.6 lens. This kit is $1,798, or it was at Best Buy. I think it's currently out of stock right now. So I purchased that. I purchased the warranty with it, which pushed this up to about $2 grand. Well, then I get the product home. I'm reading the directions. I'm going through everything, and I end up finding out that, okay, it charges via micro USB. There's no charger outside of, you know, there's no charger in the box. So you have to plug in a micro USB, which I'm not a big fan of micro USB. I find it's very brittle. Plug in the micro USB to a wall adapter or whatever, and according to the literature, it takes 285 minutes, which is just under 5 hours, to charge this battery fully. And that battery is the, what is it, the NP-FZ100, which is an awesome battery, but it takes like almost 5 hours. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work for me, because when it does run down, you know, that's a long time to wait to start recording again. And, you know, so what I did is I went out and I bought, actually, I don't know where the other box is, but I bought 2 batteries. These batteries were $78 a piece. So that's another $150 on top of the $2,100. After that, you know, obviously I want to charge faster, and I didn't want to go with since I just came into Sony, I'm not that familiar. I didn't want to buy a off-brand charger, which I could have got, or off-brand batteries, because, you know, I just wanted to kind of start off with a good, clean, strong slate until I get more experience. So these batteries are $78 a piece, and then I had to buy chargers to charge them. These charge the battery in I want to say 140 minutes, which is substantially better than 285 minutes. So I decided to buy two. And obviously the camera came with the battery. I bought two batteries, so I bought two chargers so that I can always be cycling a charging battery. These chargers were $98 a piece on Amazon. So now we got another, so we're going from $21.40-ish to adding these another 200. So now we're at $23.40 roughly without tax, right? And so I thought that this 18-135 lens was going to be able to cover everything that I wanted, because my wide angle lens on my T6i, I want to say it's 10-18. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe the 18, I can make it work. Well, when I was in the shop, the depth of the shop is not substantial enough to where I could actually get the full angle that I wanted or that I had before. And so that made me have to go look at considering a new lens. Enter the E10-18 Sony E-mount wide angle lens with an f4 aperture. This thing set me back $900. That put me at over $3,000 to switch camera platforms. That was not what I expected. That was not what I was looking for when I decided to switch over. But I really wanted to get a camera that had unlimited recording, and I did not want to spend $5,000-$6,000 on just the camera by itself. I'm not at that level yet. Maybe one day, but that day is not today. So I ended up gathering all these things, and little by little, nickel and dime, getting myself up over $3,100. Do I regret it? Honestly, no, I don't. This Sony camera, oh, and timeout, let me rewind. I have to add in there also another $40 for the camera cage that I purchased on Amazon, the small rig camera. The company's called Small Rig, and it's a camera rig that gives me 2 extra cold shoe mounts and also some other attachment capabilities, and it's also kind of it's steel, maybe, I assume, so it's going to protect the camera body as well. And I purchased that because with the A6600 there is no flash, and even if there was a flash, if you put anything like my Rode mic on top, it blocks the actual pop-up or flip-out screen, because it actually flips out over the camera as opposed to the side. So basically, if you put the actual monitor up so that you can see it from the front, you're essentially kind of negating the hot shoe. So it's one, you have to pick one or the other. Well, with this small camera rig, I'm able to attach things, you know, to the other 2 cold shoes, and then also attach other devices to that to kind of give me a little bit more functionality and retain either the use of the monitor or the hot shoe. Now, as I said, do I regret buying all of this? I do not. The image quality that I'm getting so far is great. I have had some times where I've had, you know, some fuzzy footage, and that's more so user error, because I'm used to how the Canon works, and I'm still trying to learn this camera about how to get it to focus when it's out of focus. I haven't read the manual. I should, but I have not. And so I'm just kind of tinkering with it and trying to, everything's in auto at this time. I mean, I was on auto on my T6i, and I'm in auto with this camera as well. Eventually, maybe I'll get more into manual, but you know, I'm doing so much already, maybe that's a bit too much. So, yeah. consider this when you decide to switch camera platforms, that it is extremely, extremely expensive. But if the other platform has what you're looking for or what you need, then, you know, by all means, take the plunge. That's what I did, and I'm completely happy with my decision. There are some other lenses that I'm looking at that I would like to get, and to be honest with you, I was going to buy a second one of these cameras to have so that I can use my 18 to 135 lens, so that I can have two different cameras going while I'm in the shop, one close up and the other one wide, so you can kind of get a little bit more yeah, just a little bit more, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just so you can kind of be more immersed in what I'm doing, you know, because if you're looking really closely at something, then you don't get the scope of what's going on around. So I was looking to actually add a second camera. I talked about it with my wife. You know, she wasn't too happy, especially with how much I spent here, and we kind of waited just a little bit too long, and the last one that I saw at B&H Photo, which I had in my camera cart, or in my cart, actually sold. And so now all of these cameras are out of stock. It looks like all the way down to the A6000, yeah, the A6000 all the way up to the A6600 seem to be out of stock everywhere. I wouldn't be interested in any of those other ones because all of the other ones still have the 30-minute record limit, which that is the sole reason why I went for this particular camera. I don't know what else to say or to add, but I'll give you any kind of updates that I get in regards to this camera. I keep looking up at the monitor, my bad. I'll give you, you know, whatever I find on this camera, like whatever I don't like or whatever I do like, you know, I'll, you know, try to give some updates on that. But so far, I'm happy with the camera. I know it's not a new camera, it's not the new thing, but, you know, I am not a photographer by trade, nor am I a videographer or a cinematographer or any of those ographers. I'm simply a guy who does some DIY woodworking projects and some DIY computer stuff and, well, DIY everything. I mean, I try everything as much as possible. I try to do it myself. And this camera system with the fast autofocus and the eye detect and all that helps me to do that. It helps me to be independent with filming my videos. You know, other people have teams and they have groups of people that help them, which is great. You know, I'm kind of a soloist. And so, you know, the autofocus thing is really, you know, a help for me. And then obviously I get the 4K. So those are the three reasons why I got this camera. 4K, allegedly best in class autofocus. I'm not the judge of that. That's just what I hear. And then also battery life is great. So I guess that's four things. And finally, unlimited recording limit. That right there, the only thing this camera I think is missing, which I don't know if you can do that, is if you could actually plug it into power and just record infinitely. I don't know if you can do that. I know there's a full frame Sony that has a USB-C that you can just plug it in and just go. That would be nice if this had that. It doesn't, but I'm contented with what I have for now. And yeah, so anyways, guys, thanks for listening to the video and, you know, hearing my spiel about how much it cost me to switch camera platforms. Thanks for taking time to watch the video, and I will see you in my next video.